Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living, North Metro. North something. It's Metro. I'm Reverend Michael Torphy.
I'm Reverend Valerie Torphy.
And these are wonderful friends, Greg and Sheila Fossen, who's producing today. Hello. We have Ernestine, who's doing our affirmations and our reading. And we have the wonderful, beautiful Susan Clark, who's our music for today.
Good morning.
So let's get started. Would you do the opening?
I would.
Thank you.
So I just invite you to take a nice deep breath, breathing in, breathing out, recognizing that the breath is the breath of God, that right where we are, God is in its entirety. One life, one presence, one power, in, as, and through all things. So I know that each one of us is one with the one with each other. I know that this service is blessed, and each one of us are blessed who are participating in it today, and each one is blessed who is watching in any way. And I bless this whole service, and bless each and every one of us, and bless the world. And so in absolute gratitude for this wonderful day, for all that's about to come forth, I just release it, let it go, and allow it to be. And together we say,
and so it is. Susan, you feel like getting us started here?
Yes. My 8-year-old granddaughter told me these glasses were cool. So
well, they must be. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to start us out with this. This is actually kind of an old hymn that's been revamped for the New Thought world. It's called "In This Very Room."
Oh, yeah.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough joy, and there's quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit is in this very room.
Thank you so much. That was so beautiful.
Oh, yes, thank you. We're going to take care of some business, and then we'll be right back to you for another song.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Okay. Yes.
So like us and check in on Facebook at CSL North Metro. check us out on our website at cslnorthmetro.org. You can go to contact us and add yourself to the email list so you know what things we're doing. There's a prayer request, place for a prayer request, and then we'll pray on it all week. And there's affirmations and spiritual mind treatments. And I think we're due for a new blog, but we just put one up for November if you haven't read it yet. So, and December's is coming. So also, if you shop on Amazon and you haven't selected somebody else as another nonprofit as your charity, please think about adding Centers for Spiritual Living North Metro, because then when you shop, we get paid. So today's title is House of Many Rooms. You've already met our guest artist, Susan Clark, and today's reading is from The Art of Uncertainty by Merritt Jones. Yes. So
We're inviting Ernestine. There she is.
Yes.
You want to do your thing, Ernestine?
Yes, I'm just waiting patiently to read the affirmations that are written for us on a weekly basis by Stephan Anthony. These are the affirmations for the week of November 28th, 2021. Please repeat after me. I am grounded in the reality that God's life is my life. All my goals and dreams are manifested in perfect time. I intend every day to live my highest and best life. Spirit's unconditional love blesses every aspect of my being. My words and actions come from my heart's core always. I rejoice in my individual expression of God's allness. And together we say, and so it is. Okay, now the reading. The reading is from the book, The Art of Uncertainty by Merritt Jones. With enough patience, we can learn to trust that we live in a universe that holds unlimited potential for us and is guiding us to that potential 24/7. The only way we can receive that guidance is to open ourselves to it by being present in the moment and listening to infinite intelligence. The same intelligence that gives birth to new stars, planets, galaxies, babies, and roses. That intelligence is waiting to help us give birth to a new idea of what makes life worth living. Clearly, we have a role to play in bringing that idea to fruition. As with any birthing process, there is first a gestation period, and it's comforting to remember that infinite intelligence knows the perfect rhythm and timing for that process. Our job is to align with divine presence and patiently stay the course, remaining conscious, taking action when guided. Knowing in faith that life always knows how to sustain itself in us, through us, and as us, with grace and ease when we do our part. If we are willing to be consciously present in each new moment, it invites us to learn something new. Every time we learn something new, we have stepped out of the box of the known into the mystery of uncertainty. Every person, event, and circumstance offers us a lesson that will enrich our lives if we are open, teachable, and have the patience to mindfully be in the process, one step at a time. This is how we give birth to a new expanded consciousness, or perhaps better said, a new idea of who we came here to be. With patience, we become the conscious midwife to our own future. And together we say, and so it is.
Thank you.
Wow, that was a great reading. Thank you so much.
Well, we're ready for another song.
Yes, we are.
We're ready for Susan. There she
Right.
is.
So I picked out a song this morning that was written by a very good friend of mine, two good friends of mine, Catherine Mcgill and Stu McGaskey. And Catherine has been a local musician for years here in Albuquerque. Stu used to live in Albuquerque, and now he's in Denver, and he works a lot at the Mile High Church. Catherine has gone on to do wonderful things in the community. She is an entrepreneur and started the Black Leadership Council that's just growing by leaps and bounds. So anyway, they wrote this together. I'm going to share it with you. It's called Many Paths. There are many paths leading to the mountaintop. Upon arrival, however, the view is the same for all of us. Many paths, one truth, many roads to choose, many ways to help you find the good inside you. And when it's right, you'll know deep inside your soul there are many paths, one truth. All my life I've heard it said there's only one way to find God. But now I see there are many paths to you, so many roads to find the truth. And when it's right, you'll know deep inside your soul there are many paths, there's only one truth. If my way should be the one for you, I'll be happy and I will show you my path. But if you should choose to take some other road, we will still share the same truth. There's a way for each of us to go. No special name that says we're right. It's not the name we choose to call ourselves. Only truth will ever make you free. And when it's right, you'll know deep inside your soul there are many paths, one truth. Many paths, one truth.
Wow.
Thank you, Catherine and Stu.
Got chills up and down my spine.
It's a great song, isn't it?
Oh, it's a wonderful song.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing that with us.
Yeah.
Very welcome.
And thanks to the musicians who wrote it.
Yes.
Really beautiful.
I'm gonna send them both a link to the service afterwards, so they
that'd be
can.
great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So we'll
Thank
see
you.
you after we done our
Okay.
business. So I've never claimed to be a Bible person, but every once in a while, something from it comes to me, and I got to deal with it. And I remember this one teacher who taught I think it was, we had 2 Bible classes, 1 and 2, and I think it was 2. And he was an older gentleman. He was in his 90s and he had retired, but he came out of retirement for Reverend Michael and Reverend Nirvana because they had asked him if he'd teach a class. So he said yes, and I'll never forget, he walks in and I thought he looked like he was on his last step because he sit down and he just would watch the clock, and when it struck on the hour, this guy was like all of a sudden 20 years old. He just came alive. He just had so much life in him because he was doing what he loved. He was teaching, and it was one of the best experiences. It was so mystical because he taught what he thought the Bible was saying to him. He told a story about when he was a little boy. He disagreed with the minister and all the interpretations, and he'd come home and tell his mom, and she'd go, "You're right, you're right." So he went in to be a minister and was very successful. Anyway, get back to it. The Bible verse that I'm quoting is written by John, and it's 14:2. My Father's house has many rooms. And I just thought about my Father's house. God's house has many rooms, and there's got to be something there for me to understand. So what I came up with is like, well, we have in our livingness, we have our own homes, and our home has many rooms, not as many as God's home. But I thought, well, if we have a physical home, then there must be a spiritual home, and every home has to have a kitchen. And for me, what that represents is we go to the kitchen to be fed, and our spiritual kitchen feeds us by taking spiritual classes. We're in our spiritual kitchen, reading spiritual books, going to services and retreats, listening to spiritual music. Every time you do one of those, you enter the kitchen of your spiritual home, and it's a great place to be. And whenever you need to be fed, you just go do one of these things, and you don't have to be hungry to be fed, because you can feed yourself anytime just by sitting down and reading or listening to some spiritual music. It uplifts, it feeds the soul. And every spiritual home has to have a bedroom. What would we do without a bedroom? One of my favorite places in the world. Going to bed, nothing greater than that. But in our spiritual bedroom is where we get rest. And we all need to rest. Spiritually, it's an important thing to do. If you want to, in any point of the day, anytime you think about it, if you're getting like wrapped up and nervous or excited or something's going on, you can center yourself. And all that takes is going within, closing your eye, taking some deep breaths, and just sitting for just a minute, just allowing yourself to feel the presence of you, feel God's presence as you. And then you come out and you've had this little spiritual nap. But to go deeper, we meditate. And that takes a discipline, like anything else, to daily meditate, to go within and just silence the mind to the best you can. Silence the mind and allow yourself to drift off into the invisible universe that dwells within you. And what I know is that when you come out, you're going to be more awake, you're going to be energized, and you're going to be ready for life, the life that God has given us. So here's another important room. I need to visit it often, and it's our office. This is where we take care of business, the things that we do in our daily life. And in the office is where we get our clarity, the clarity of decisions we have to make, the clarity of questions that we've asked. When you turn to your inner office and have patience and don't try to force answers, but just allow them to come and claim that the answer is here, mine now. The solution is mine here and now, and just allow it to be. And I don't know about anybody else, but it always works for me. It comes in time, on time, the perfect time, in that timeless place that dwells within me. And all I need to do is just allow it to come. It sounds simple, but sometimes it's not that simple, because there's an urge of necessity to get it done now, that I got to take care of it. And that's where we want to be active, but we don't want to be busy. To me, being active is what I just explained, allowing yourself to be open to the guidance and the direction and the answers and the solutions, and allowing them to come. That has a peaceful sort of joyful place to be. When you're busy, that's when you just get in this hectic energy that you got to get it done. Oh, what if I don't get it done? And there's this worry, and there's this thing. If I don't get this done now, then how will I get the other thing done? And you get into this energetic that nobody wants to be. It's the makings of a headache, quite frankly. But we can bypass that by just letting go. We don't need to do anything now, because now is forever. Now is always. So in the now, we can just relax and allow the answers to come in this sacred, what room? Office.
Like, oh, did you name another room?
I drifted off. I was on my way to the living room, and in the living room is where we stay awake when we're in the
stay awake.
best I can. Yeah, she was talking. We watch movies, and Valerie drifts off into Never Land.
Yeah, I sit down.
Anyway,
that's not what you're talking
no,
about.
and that's awful personal. Anyway, the bedroom or the living room is in that awakened state, that state of knowing who you are. When you're in the living room, you're your authentic self. How many of us come home from work, we take off our shoes, put them up on the table, and just let it all hang out? That's the frame of mind we want to be all the time, living gracefully, living so easily, being authentic to your true self, allowing God to reveal itself through you, because you are a special gift to this planet. You were made in God's likeness and image, and you are necessary. So when we're in the living room, we're authentic. We don't allow others to manipulate us into being something that we're not, to keep them as friends. We're more than that. We're the perfection of the universe. So I live, you live, we all live to live eternally. And then there's that most important room, the bathroom. That's where you go to release everything that's no longer in need in your life, letting go of everything that no longer serves you. It's easy to do. You just say, I let go. I let God. I let it be. I don't need this anymore. I release it into the universe, into the nothings from which it came. And the key to every one of these rooms is to move out of your head space and into your heart space. That heart space where you're loved, you're cherished, you're honored. You are who you are because of God's love for you. That place where you're eternally loved, where harmony and peace and joy and happiness abound in your life.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Why? Because you built a house of God, a spiritual house that is here and now. My home, your home. So very, very beautiful. So necessary. Valerie?
So when I was reading the Science of Mind book, I looked up the mansions, and Ernest quoted probably just a different version where he said, "In my Father's house there are many mansions." And then he said, "The world with all its wonders is not the only one we shall inhabit." And then he talked about Jesus saying, I go to prepare a place for you. And he basically said that Jesus was talking about expansion of the soul and enlargement of the experience. And that he said, we'll go many places, but it won't be with this body. It will just, and so we have many experiences and go many places. And so I started thinking about that. And so he also said, God is within, and it's within that we meet the divine as we gaze inward. So we don't find the divine when we're gazing outward at what's going on in our lives and what's going on in the world. We meet the divine when we gaze inward. And so I started thinking about that and how we're manifested into this life to do certain things and learn certain things, and we stay in this body and this experience for the time that we need to do that which we came here to do. And so none of us knows exactly how long that's going to be or what that's going to be like, but we all know that just living the life from without, just doing the things we need to do, and the cooking and the shopping and is fulfilling, and yet it's not. That's where sometimes we get into the searching for, oh, if I just go buy this new pretty thing, it'll make me happy, or if I just make this thing, it'll make me happy. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that, except that when we're doing things just that way without looking within for the light and the power and the presence and the wonder that is God, it takes a lot of pretty things. And so I know that sometimes people get addicted to shopping because they buy this pretty thing and then that just lasts a little while, and then they buy this pretty thing and that just lasts a little while. And so as we also look within and we also live that inner life, that life where we can absolutely feel the indwelling presence of God, where we feel the oneness and the isness, then that's where the true joy comes from, is the within. And I'm not saying don't go buy pretty things. I'm just saying there's a joy that's within that is more than we'll ever find in the without. And so when I thought of rooms, I thought of things like we all have our comfort zone, and that place where everything needs to be just exactly like it needs to be, and then I'm okay. And we all have this place where we have this room of anger, where things don't go the way we want them to go, and sometimes we get angry. Or we have a room of not enough, or a room of control. And I could probably go on, but you get the point that we have these things that go on in our lives that we think if we just get this, we'll be happy. Or if we just get that, then we'll be happy. If everyone just always did what I wanted, then they'd be happy and I would be happy. And those things are also, they're fleeting, and they're not the thing that really gives us purpose, and they're not the thing that really makes us happy. I know for myself, as I have recognized those places where I really feel like I need to control things, I began to really focus on letting that go. What happens if it doesn't just get done my way? Usually it's just fine. And I don't really need to do anything about it. It's just find somebody else's way. What happens if I don't have to agree with everything everybody says and I just allow them to have their opinion and do their things? That works out just fine too. It works out a lot better than thinking I need to control what they're thinking or saying, or this is the right way and you're doing it the wrong way, or any of those things. If we just learn to, I've been thinking about it in terms of how divided we feel right now sometimes with our families and the country and all over the planet. If we just begin to think about, I'm here to do the things I came here to do, and each other person is here doing the things they came to do, and we're all doing the best that we can with what we know and what we have. And so if we get to that spiritual place of allowing each life to unfold the way it unfolds, and allowing each person to have their experiences without needing to be in a place of judgment about that. Mm-hmm. And I know sometimes it's hard for me when I watch the news because the brain wants to go, well, that's fine, and they should. And I just try to pull back, and we don't know what the other person's here for. We don't know what their lesson is. We don't know what they're here to experience. And the more we read and the more we learn and the more we grow, we understand that everything has its purpose and it's all unfolding the way it's supposed to, whether I agree with that or not. Mm-hmm. Because I'm not the only one manifesting. I'm just here having my experience for the things I needed to learn and grow. And so is each other person. So as I learn how to allow each person to express the way they express without thinking I need to be in judgment, then I'm a happier person. And I pretty much have learned that when somebody has an opinion, just me telling them what they should be thinking doesn't change it anyway. No. So there's really no point in doing that thing. And so I can just allow them to unfold in their way and grow in their way. And then, if someone comes for prayer or if someone comes and asks for help, then that's a whole different thing than just going along thinking I have all the answers and things need to be my way. So I'm learning about that. So God is the life essence of everything. It's the intelligent energy running through all. So there's not any separation between God as Valerie, or God as Michael, or God as Kim, or God as Greg, or God as Sheila, or God as Ernestine, or God as Susan, or God as in each and every person who's watching here today and every person everywhere. There's not any difference with that. It's all one thing. So when I might be making a difference or making a judgment, it's all one thing. And I cannot be judging someone else without the judgment finger pointing back at me. Do you have something to say about that?
I was just thinking back to when you said you read the different version of, what was it? Read it again.
In my Father's house, there are many mansions.
Yeah, I had a hard time with that because I was thinking there are many mansions in a house. It just didn't make sense. I had to change it in my own way. And I realized, there's all these other houses, like my house, Valerie's house, and everybody else's house. And they can be mansions. They can be mansions how? By expanding our awareness of who and what we are, by continuing to grow and never thinking that you've arrived someplace and that now you're totally spiritual and everything's good. Well, life in God's house will sometimes throw a little curve at you, and you have to learn how to deal with it. And for me, it's to turn within to my home, the home that dwells within me, the house of many rooms. And what I know is, for you and for me, we can always add another room, and it can be anything you want it to be. And you can think of yourself as this expanded mansion within God's house. And that's sort of a freeing way of thinking. It's a way of just not being caught up in the physical, but allowing the spiritual to be your home and to move from room to room, enjoying every aspect of your being. I think that was one of the affirmations today. And just loving you, loving who you are, loving your home, your spiritual home, and knowing that it is always present, it is always within you, and it never lets you down. It always uplifts, inspires, and creates more good in your life that you could ever possibly imagine.
So I got a little hooked on the Upanishads last week, and so I read some more of those this week. And at one point in this particular book, it said, the infinite is free, unbounded, full of joy, is our native state. We have fallen from that state and seek it everywhere, and every human activity is an attempt to fill the void. Then he goes on to say, but as long as we continue to try to fill the void from the outside, it will never happen, because finite things can never appease us. It's the infinite, which is within. That's a place where we find our reality and our joy and our awareness.
Mm-hmm.
And so I just really thought how often we forget that it's the inner that fulfills the outer, and not the outer that fulfills the inner. You would say that in a better way.
No, it's said perfectly.
Did I say that? So as we're living this life as a human, we got all the things that we need to do, and all the things, the busyness and all the things, and just remembering that we're here to have those experiences, but that's not the truth of our being. The truth of our being is that oneness, that allness, that isness, that presence and power of God that is within us, that is within each and every one of us, and that is the whole of life. And that each one of us is one with everything else. And so every time we do something kind for someone, we're doing that for everyone. And every time I might do something that is not kind, I'm doing that to myself as well as the person. So just remembering that oneness, that as we learn how to treat ourselves as one with God, and treat each other as one with God, and treat our animals and our planet as one with God, then we begin to recognize the power and presence and the oneness and the allness and that grace that is with us always.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Good, honey.
Should I pray?
Yeah, I think that's time.
Okay.
So join us.
So I just invite you to close your eyes and to take another deep cleansing breath. Just recognizing that we are breathing in God, and we're breathing out everything that no longer serves us. Breathing in that oneness, breathing in that allness, breathing in that isness, that absolute power and presence and oneness that is the breath of God, that is the life of God, that is the life of each and every one of us, because we're all one with the one and one with each other. And so I know for each and every one of us, I know love and peace and truth and power and radiant health and loving relationships and wondrous opportunities and compassion and kindness and givingness. I know that we have opportunities and healing of our body temples and healing of our relationships and healing of those pains that are deep within us that can come out and come up and just be healed in the oneness and the glory of the absolute power and presence of God. I know that that is possible for each and every one of us. So I just spread this word out onto the planet, out past the planet, and know that is all this just one glorious thing, and just recognize the power and presence of love as each and every one of us. And so I am just in absolute gratitude and awe for the opportunity to live this life at this time and have the the opportunity to learn and to grow and to expand and to create more and more and more of the peace and the power and the love. And so in absolute gratitude, I pass this word to Reverend Michael.
Thank you. And I ask you to join me in consciousness as we surround those who've asked for prayer for us this week. For Kim, knowing that she continues to heal and strengthen her body temple, and her spirit soars into the goodness that she is, and everything that is perfect, whole, and complete is attracted to her to enable her to go through life joyful and peaceful and harmonious. I speak my word for Diane, who continues to heal. We surround her with light and love, knowing that the healer that is within her is responding to this prayer right here, right now.
That's right.
And she surpasses all the stuff that's going on in her body to a healthy, strong, vibrant body. I know that, and I claim it to be true right here, right now. And for Jessica, I know for her that she, in this moment, responds to this word that claims for her perfect healing. Everything that challenged her body in the past few days is now released and let go of, that she is strengthened by this word and uplifted and is in that place of perfection that she was birthed to be. And for Auntie Betty, we surround her with light and love. We know that at this moment of her life where a change is taking place, that it happens with grace and ease. And there's a sense of peace within her that knows that this next yet to be is waiting to greet her and welcome her with love and joy and happiness. And for anybody that is listening to this prayer, if there's something you wish to throw into this collective consciousness, just do so now. And knowing that which has been asked for is given. And so we say thanks. Thanks for the answer to our prayers. Thanks for this life, my life, your life, all life. Thanks to the Spirit of the living God that gave us eternal life. Thanks for knowing that this word is fulfilled and now complete in our experience, in our life. And for this, with much gratitude, I invite you to say, and so it is.
Amen. Amen. Aho. And together we say, woohoo!
Little boy, 6 years old, a little too used to being alone. Another new mom and dad, another school, another house that'll never be home. When people ask him how he likes this place, he looks up and smiles and says, oh, this is my temporary home. It's not where I belong. Windows and rooms that I'm passing through. This is just a stop on the way to where I'm going. I'm not afraid because I know this is my temporary home. A young mom on her own. She needs a little help, got nowhere to go. She's looking for a job, looking for her way out, 'cause a halfway house will never be a home. This is our temporary home. It's not where we belong. Windows and rooms that we're passing through. This is just a stop on the way to where we're going. I'm not afraid because I know this is our temporary home. Old man, hospital bed. The room is filled with people he loves. And he whispers, don't cry for me, I'll see you all someday. He looks up and says, I can see God's face. This is my temporary home. It's not where I belong. Windows and rooms that I'm passing through. This was just a stop on the way to where I'm going. I'm not afraid because I know this is my temporary home. This was my temporary home. I am passing through the many mansions in my soul. This is our temporary home.
Wow.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks.
Susan, you do it every time you come and participate in our service. You just have a way of touching my heart. I'm sure everybody else's that's
Yes.
listening to
Good.
you.
That's why I'm here this time around. So thank
And
you.
that's why we have you here.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Happy to have you. Well,
Yes.
we're going to be blessed with one more song. As soon as we take care of some business, we'll be right back to you. So if you like what has taken place today and you're feeling generous, you're feeling like something moved in your heart that compels you to want to give, then what better place to give than right here, right now, to our spiritual center, to complete, to be a person of divine light, and you wanting the place to shine, will shine it towards us. Because if you believe in the vision of the Center for Spiritual North Metro, then help us. We're humble. We'll accept it. Valerie.
So you can use Venmo. And the QR code will be coming up pretty soon. There's places on the bottom of the screen where you can go to our website, cslnorthmetro.org, and there's a couple of places to give right there. And there's information to text to give. And that's also on the website too. So in case you don't see it here, there it is.
Yes.
Okay.
There it is. Okay. So join me by shining your light towards the screen, knowing that it comes here and returns back multiplied. So repeat after me. Thank you, dear Spirit.
Thank you, dear Spirit.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
I'm so grateful to give in this moment.
I'm so grateful to give in this moment.
I know that my gifts go out and bless many people.
I know that my gifts go out and bless many people.
Blesses the planet.
Blesses the planet.
Blesses my life.
Blesses my life.
For this, I'm eternally grateful.
For this, I'm eternally grateful.
And so it is.
And so it is.
Once again, the one, the only,
Susan Clark.
Susan Clark. Yay.
I'm going to do a song that was written by Reverend Michael Gott, and he's at the Unity in Houston, I believe. But he's a great, great singer, songwriter, wonderful presence. I just realized all my songs today are kind of pensive, which is appropriate because I'm feeling kind of pensive too. But this one is called Finding the Key. hands have laid the stone. The world is small and the walls are closing in. Will I always be alone? Oh, I'm looking for the key. I'm looking for the key. Love and forgiveness poured down over me. Love and forgiveness set me free. Set me free. I know it hasn't always been this way. I know something has been lost. I hope I can find the world outside again, but I know what it will cost. I'm looking for the key. I'm looking for the key. Love and forgiveness pour it down all over me. Love and forgiveness set me free. Set me free. Now the stones have crumbled at my feet. Chains have fallen from my heart. I remember this is what it feels like to be free. The walls are gone and I can see someone. Love and forgiveness look down over me. Love and forgiveness set me free. I'm free. Love and forgiveness. I can feel it pouring down over me. I am free. Love and forgiveness set me free. And I forgive myself. I am set free. I'm giving to you now. I give you. We all are blessed. So set me free. I am set free right here in this very moment. I am free.
Wow.
Thanks.
Thank you. What a wonderful selection of songs you picked for us today.
Thank you. I'm learning to get in the flow.
You are.
I just kind of trust it. I loved what you told me one week. You said, my music is my ministry too. So it has merit and needs to be shared, likes to be shared. So thank you for that advice.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And nobody can do it for you but you.
That's right.
Oh, well, we welcome back Greg and Sheila and Ernestine. This is the team for this week who made this all possible. We thank you all. We're so grateful for everything you've done to make this service unfold this day and continue to give. And we appreciate you and your life. You got something you need to say?
Oh.
Before I do the benediction?
Oh, we just said join us on Zoom. And it's in the comments, and I think it is in the comments, right? And if you miss it in the comments, it's also on our website, so you can always get it. And if you want to join us and know what's happening, sign up for our email list out there on our website too. And so that's all I have to say. So
yeah, if you haven't joined us ever, please do so. We love to welcome you and see who you are and bless you into this fold. And remember, stay safe, wear your mask, get your shots. let's make this world a safe place to be, and know the truth for everybody that hasn't gotten their shots, that who they are matters to us, and just surround them with light and love. So close your eyes if you would, and join me by giving thanks. So grateful for this day and all it still has to offer. So grateful for this service as it unfolded in its perfection. So grateful for all the loved ones in our lives. So grateful for our life. So grateful to be grateful. And in that sense of absolute gratitude, we can now let go, let God, and just allow our lives to be. And together we say, and so it is.
So it is.
Have a great week, and we'll see you in a bit on Zoom. Zoom. Yes.
Bye.
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 Bye. Ciao, babies.